Hello and welcome to the Adulting 101 video series. This is a quick version video. That means that the video itself is going to be 15 minutes or less. But if you're taking the notes that go along with it, I want you to pause after each slide so you have time to write in your thoughts. And if you're doing this with a group, maybe you're doing this at home with your family, maybe you're watching it in class at school, at the end of each slide there will be a question in the lower left for you to talk about. So, like, what's your purpose in taking this session today? My purpose in this session today is to talk about college essays. This is part of the college preparation series. We're going to look at three essential questions. What are colleges looking for in a college admissions essay? How do I decide what to write about? And how do I go about the process of writing it step by step? All right, let's start with a big idea here. So most big universities, private colleges, and scholarships require an essay. It might also be called a personal essay or a personal statement. The colleges and scholarships that use this often say that it's their top weighted element when they calculate your score. So you want to make sure you put your best foot forward when you're doing a college essay. There's generally three goals that a college or scholarship is looking at when they read your essay. Number one, they want to see what your values are. They want you to show a story from your life that shows what you value and what you think is important. Number two, they want to know what your goals are. They want you to reflect on that story and talk about how that's impacted who you are and who you want to be. And they want to see if your goals align with what they can offer on their campus. And the third is they want to see your writing skills. They need to see that you can write an organized essay because that is a really key skill to surviving in your actual college classes. So all three of those allow the college to determine if you're a good fit for their values, their programs, and their standards. Okay, typically the format for college essays is 500 to 650 words, which means generally 5 paragraphs and 2 pages double-spaced. The common prompts, there are normally 6 of them on the Common App every year, but they generally come down to 4 key ideas. Number one, if there's a part of your identity that has shaped your life and goals, tell us about it. Number two, if there's a challenge or failure that has changed your life or goals, tell us about it. Number three, if there's a person or role model that has shaped your life and goals, tell us about them. And number four, if there's an experience that has shaped your life and goals, tell us about it. So what's the common theme here? They want to know about your life and they want to know about your goals. So what that means is that there's really 3 parts to answering the prompt. There's the past, tell us a story about your life experience. Present, tell us how that experience shapes who you are now, your life. And then goals is the future, tell us about how that experience shaped your goals for the future. It's really important that you hit all 3 parts of that. If you just tell a story about something that happened to you, that's a really lovely narrative essay, but that doesn't actually help a college figure out, but what do you care about? It might show what you value, but it's not going to show them how does that impact where you're going? How does that impact what you think you want to do for a major or for a career? And does that make you a good candidate for our school? So they really do need to see how does it impact you now and how does it impact who you want to be in the future. So I always recommend that for your first step, you start by focusing on your values. Ask yourself, and actually ask your friends, what is your highest value? What's really important to you? Sometimes I'll ask students, like, ask your friends, fill in the blank. Everyone knows that I am blank. What is it? Everyone knows that I really care about people. Everyone knows I'm really passionate about soccer. Everyone knows that I'm really passionate about travel. Everyone knows that you care about your family. What is it? What is that highest value to you? And then ask yourself, what is your deepest passion? And then say, okay, is there a story that allows me to share that? If your passion is your family, you're really passionate about your family, is there a story about your family that shows why they're so important to you and how you've demonstrated your devotion to them? If you really care about travel, what's the best story to exemplify why you care about that and why it might be a part of your life in the future? All right, step 2. Now you want to brainstorm an outline. Don't worry about writing full sentences yet. Just sort out your ideas into 5 categories. So your first paragraph is introducing your story and hooking the reader. Don't give it all away. Unlike other essays, you don't want to give the whole story away in the first paragraph. You just want to hook them. Paragraph 2, tell the story about your past. Paragraph 3, show how that story has shaped who you are now. How has it changed your character? How has it impacted your activities? How are you behaving differently now because you had that experience? Paragraph 4, how has that story shaped your future goals? Because of that experience, because of that person, what do you want to do with your future? What are your goals? And then paragraph 5, wrap it up with a conclusion, maybe reference back to your introduction, something like that. Step 3, now you want to start a rough draft. So copy that brainstorm outline into a Google Doc. Start with the paragraph you feel most comfortable and most prepared to write. You do not have to start with the intros. Intros and conclusions are so hard. So if you're like, I'm just going to start with paragraph 2 and just share my story, fine, great. Then convert that brainstorm idea into a cohesive paragraph and then go through, take one day each to do each paragraph and just flesh out that paragraph. Now you have a rough draft. Now that you have a rough draft, I want you to check a few things before you show it to anyone else. I want you to reread the prompt. Did you miss any of the sub-questions? Did you actually share all the different parts I asked for? Then run spell check and run grammar check. Make any revisions. You should do that before you show it to anyone else. You should not be asking your English teacher to do that for you. Then run a word count. Is it under 650? If not, you drop that down on your own. Cut out the excess words. Do what you can. Trim it down. And then we'll move on to step 5. Step 5. Now you want to check for honesty. Read over your essay again. Is it 100% honest? No exaggeration. Is it 100% your work? No ChatGPT. Your job is to be honest, to represent your values and goals, and to apply to a college that aligns with those values and goals. Your job is not to guess what they want to read or to manipulate them. And if you lie on an application or you use ChatGPT, that is grounds for immediate dismissal. There are lots of ways for us to tell when you've used AI. That's not something you want to mess with, right? They're not looking for perfection. They are looking for authenticity. They want to see who you really are. From there, before you show it to anyone else, I want you to recheck the balance. I always recommend highlight in pink, everything that is a narrative about your past, that's telling a story about your past. And let's just see how much is there. Then in orange, highlight everything that shows how you're different now because of that experience. And then in yellow, highlight everything that's talking about your goals and allows the college to see your future plans. If one of those colors far outweighs the other ones, then adjust. Maybe you don't have quite so much of your story, and maybe you need another sentence about who you are now and what you've done in your life now because of that experience. All right, step 7, now you're ready to get feedback and revise. Even if you've already submitted an essay to a previous class, that teacher was reading it to score it for that class. They were not looking at it as a college essay. So if you wrote a narrative essay about some experience from your childhood, that might have been perfectly fine for your junior year English teacher. They were not a college looking at it and saying, yeah, but we asked how did that impact your life and your goals, and you didn't address that at all, right? Share your essay with at least one peer and at least one teacher. Make sure you show them what the original prompt was, right? They need to know what question you are actually answering. Get their feedback and then actually do something about it. If they take the time to actually read and give you some ideas, actually make those changes. And then write them a thank you note and then be ready to edit for a friend when it's their turn. All right. Resolve all the edit suggestions. If you're in a Google Doc, make sure you've cleared out everything on the side so they're not on there, and then submit your final draft. You might be copying and pasting the text into a box on an application. You might be uploading a PDF of your document, or you might be linking directly to the Google Doc. That's increasingly more common and will out you if you use ChatGPT, so I'm just saying, make sure you're careful on that. All right. Key takeaways. What are 3 ideas that you want to take away from college essays? Anything in what the content is, what the goal of it is, what the process is like, honesty. What are 3 ideas you're going to take away? Then, before we go, if this was helpful to you, here are the other topics that are available. So this was part of the college preparation set there, the red collection. You can see the other topics that are available. But you can also see the other categories as well. If there are any other lessons that you think would be helpful for you as you explore what it means to be an adult, check them out. All right, have a